So one of the comments that I got, and I won't go into it too deeply, but there's it's across the board of humankind comment, especially people who are trying to defend their fears, and so they'll rise to the fore with some, just try that with this and blah blah blah, and it can be jujitsu, it can be boxers, it could be any type of taekwondo, it could be whatever, Wing Chun. They'll always work to defend, a particular thing. So when I made the iJab commentary, or the video about how to do a real iJab, the iJab itself is a tool in a toolbox. It's something that you employ during an opportunity. Again, how I described it in the video was defensively. Okay? So immediately, there's the comments that will come out. A lot of them that appreciate that I put it up there. So I love those comments that are from people who understand it. And you'll read some of those comments in there who really have done this. Because when you do this in reality, in a fight or in a defensive situation, you realize these things work. It's not, and it doesn't matter if they're a boxer, it doesn't matter if they're, it doesn't matter the discipline, doesn't matter whatever. Then I'll get a comment like one guy, well, just try that with somebody who has this, just even a few weeks of this type of training, fill in the blank. Again, that's a defensive comment. They don't want people in the general public using iJabs, just, willy-nilly, haphazardly, just throwing them into fights. So to help curb that, they throw in these comments like, well, just try that with somebody who has this training, this ability, this whatever else. It's like, it doesn't matter the art. It doesn't matter the technique. What matters is, can you employ something based on sensory input and based on a situation that is required in the right amount of time, in the right place? And is it warranted? Is it something that, again, if you're in a lawful state where you have civil lawsuits that you have to worry about, or if you're in the military, if you're in law enforcement, there are things that dramatically change what you will use in any particular encounter. The biggest factor is defensive comments like that don't do anything to do anything other than express fear. I don't want people doing that, so I'm going to say, well, with this type of training, whatever else. The stuff I've done against people who have had decades of training, and I'm telling you, fearsome people, fighting ability and so forth, little things done well, surprising things done well, can make babies of us all, can make us infants, can make us, cringe, can make us rethink why we were doing something. So for me, it's obvious, because I've seen these type of comments over and over, and you'll get that in any type of thing, especially people, if you're demonstrating a choke type thing, well, that's not a real choke, or if you're demonstrating a particular kick, well, that's not a real kick, the kick should be done blah blah blah, or Wing Chun people, just pick any particular technique, and they'll and I don't mean there are in any system, martial arts, any area of the world, there are the people who fight for real, who have had to defend themselves for real, who are high level fighters and so forth. They don't make comments like that. They understand the truth of something one way or the other really quick, and they'll either quietly adapt the training that I demonstrate, or they'll already have that in play as a tool and they won't need to make comments like that because they're the hardcore. They're the people who have tested this and maybe not even having wanted to have tested it. And again, I've trained a lot of people in the military who've been in heated combat, trained law enforcement who have had to deal with some horrible stuff. And when you teach them and train them efficient ways for doing something, they get it right off the bat. They don't make a comment, well, when this blah, 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 and this blah, blah, blah. Usually people that make those type of comments, they're fearful, they're afraid, they're defending themselves. They don't want other people doing stuff to them in fights. Now and they have to think now, oh my God, it's not just a standard boxing I have to worry about, because now they're going to shoot for my leg, or they're going to, tear off an ankle or whatever else. And it's like, that's understandable, it's fear-based, it's whatever else. Get the training, train wide environment situations against single and multiple opponents with and without weapons. That's what we do. And when you do that, you find efficiencies in there and methods for training those efficiencies. And this is what I've been doing, this is what I've been teaching and refining and distilling over the course of decades, to get to where what I demonstrate is for the general public, pared down so that we don't have to worry as much about civil lawsuits and that sort of thing. And the other is law enforcement gets a different version. They have a certain immunity. People who are doing military defense tactics, very, very different, because of the theater that they're generally put into is not something they have to worry about civil lawsuits. It's literally life and death, weapons, a functional existence that keeps them alive, period. So when you see a technique and when you see something that I do, that I present up there, take it in vain. If you have a question about it and so forth, ask the question. If you're afraid or you don't think something will work, test it out. Test it out. Put it into practice. Because I'll tell you, everything that I do on there has been put into practice. There's nothing I haven't done that I put up on there. And there's a lot that I have not put up on there. The members site and Patreon members will see a lot of that as well. Techniques that I'll show mostly to military or law enforcement, things like that. But if you have a question, test it out. Don't rely on just my saying it. Go out there, put it into practice, look at what I'm doing, listen to what I actually say, because the words I use are really important. I try not to take things out of context and try to display it with the verbiage that's actually applicable to the moment, the situation, the technique, the environment, the people involved. So that's why I present this stuff up there, to give you other perspectives to test, to reinforce perhaps, because some of the stuff you may already have done in fights, you may already have done in training. So that's something that I hope to give you, is just a new way of looking at something. And that's it. If you have questions, comment below. I do look at them. Some of them are just I can imagine 2,000 years ago some of these same comments were brought up in Greek wrestling or any other field of battle and training environment. Same type of responses are put out there, and we're just regurgitating that over and over again with new generations. So the best way is the test way. All right, Core Jakety, my best in your training. Thank you.